This episode of Going North, we continue on with our evening of day 2 at one of our favorite camping spots of the whole trip, next to the Liard River. We spent a lot of time just sitting by the fire and listening to the peace and tranquility of the river. After finishing the car fireworks stunt, we figured we'd light off the rest of the fireworks, and we had a small incident. Here's a tip for you folks out there that have never lit off fireworks. Ensure you follow the instructions to a T. We did not, and we had a firework fall over on the ground and then fire off in all different directions. So let's just slow this down and have a closer look. I'm standing on the right side of the screen and Justin's on the left. Now watch how I get hit with the fireworks. And then listen to what we say to each other.
I got hit in the chest.
I got hit in the nuts.
Oh my god. Oh, that's fun. It hit hard. Like I got nailed. It was like someone punched me. And you got hit in the nuts. No, now I know why they want it buried in the sand, because it falls over. End of day 2. We got a fire going. We got the most epic spot by the river.
And we just set up fireworks.
And embarrassed ourselves horribly. Yeah. My chest hurts and something hurts on Justin. I'm pretty sure I know what it is.
Yeah, that was a little silly.
Oh, that was funny. Right on.
Looking forward to the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Still, probably, 10 days.
And I was just saying to Justin that if this trip was done right now and we had to go home, I would be perfectly satisfied. This has been an awesome 2 days? 2 days.
2 days, second night.
This is night 2. Yeah, wow. It's been phenomenal. So looking forward to it. We got rained on really hard last night, and now we've got fantastic weather. So
tonight's making up for last night.
yeah, we kind of deserve it. So. Oh!
Oh no.
A firework and the fire just went poof. All right, signing off.
Good night.
The next morning, we packed up our gear and hit the highway. We saw plenty of bison along the way and stopped to remove an obstruction from the road, which is quite dangerous.
That's a brake shoe off a truck, middle of the highway.
And our next stop was Watson Lake at the Signpost Forest.
Okay, folks, we are at the Signpost Forest in Watson Lake, Yukon. Just rolled into town. This was started during World War II while they were building the highway, when a soldier that was injured and couldn't work for a while, he was kind of bored and kind of homesick. So he made a sign with his hometown name on it and how many miles to home it was. And he posted it somewhere here. And ever since then, people have added their own signs. And if you look at this, there's thousands of them. So we got to go find a place to put this sign up for Jasper Place High School, where I've worked for the last few years. And I want to thank Pat Elliott for making this sign on the school's CNC machine in the wood shop. He did an amazing job, went way beyond anything I could have imagined. So we're going to go put this drill to work, and we'll find a place to put it.
Not only were the number of signs so impressive, but they were from all over the world, and family names and town names, and it was very cool to see this. To the best place I've ever worked. Then we just spent some time looking around and They had some machinery there from the construction of the Alaska Highway. Shortly after, we hit the highway and then we pulled off at a campground and made some lunch. Justin, the sandwich master at work.
That's me.
Look at that. Tabasco. We got peppers, pickles.
It's a gourmet sandwich.
Leaves.
You pay $15 for this in a restaurant.
That's right. He picked the leaves out of the ditch next to Muncho Lake.
Yeah, foraging.
Yep.
We just rolled into Whitehorse, Yukon. Just drove past the big SS Klondike paddle wheeler. And this is a very iconic town for the gold rush. So if we get some time, we might check a few things out. Right now we got to get some groceries, so we got to eat, feed ourselves. So yeah, that's all we're up to right now. Driving through downtown Whitehorse.
Later that night, we found a fantastic camping spot, and it was next to a beautiful creek.
Okay, it's morning of day 4, and I'm walking to the washroom. We found a really good spot last night. We're just driving along the highway and we're like looking down seemingly abandoned looking roads, and we pick one, and it was right across the highway from a rest stop with washrooms, like, well, pit toilets anyways, and a garbage can. So we go down that road and found a great spot to camp. It's right by a creek, and we got lots of room, and there's a fire pit, and I'm walking with my bear spray because this is the kind of country we're in. It's gorgeous. We got a great view all the way around, and you can hear the creek a little bit from our tents. So had a really good sleep last night, and I'm just on a walk to the washroom. So day 4, here we go. So we have been doing what's called random camping, and that's where you camp for free. We're not camping in an organized campground where you're paying at all. There are roads like this that just go off the highway, and we haven't paid a cent yet for camping. And in a way, I find that easier than trying to get to a campground that we know of, or that we're hoping isn't fully occupied, or something like that. Pretty much we just kind of look at the time and go, you know what? We got X number of hours of daylight. We need to stop now. It's like 7:30 or whatever. And you know what? We've had good luck. Usually within half hour to 45 minutes or less, we find a good spot. So this has been a good deal. And you know, one thing I will point out is that if you're random camping like we are, make sure you clean up after you're finished. When we leave, it's as clean or cleaner than when we got there. And I think that's the only reason that these kind of sites are still available, is because people have cleaned up. And I mean, what are the chances that a good place to camp is across the road from a rest stop with washrooms? That's unheard of in the southern part of Canada. So if we continue to take care of these places, I'm sure they'll still be available for a long time. And here's another thing I'd like to point out. It is so quiet out here. Yeah, you can hear birds and that kind of thing, and the creek nearby. And we're I don't know, maybe 1/8 of a mile off the highway where we're camped. But when a car goes by on the highway, that is seemingly extremely loud. That's how remote we are. That's how quiet it is out here. And just love this. It's beautiful. So if anyone wants to try this random camping thing, give it a try. Especially on the Alaska Highway, you can do this. We've now deviated off the Alaska Highway because we're going to Dawson City, but there's still places to stop here. So Here, I can hear a truck on the highway now. It's loud. Now, even a passenger car is basically that loud. You can hear it coming from a long ways. That's how quiet it is out here. I just did something really cool based on Justin's advice. He did this last night. I put on a pair of swim trunks and water shoes, and I took a bath in this creek. Talk about refreshing. That was amazing. And the water wasn't that cold. It was cool, but not glacial whatsoever. One thing I will say about the bugs, they're almost non-existent. There's just been some black flies. You saw one just now. I haven't sprayed any bug spray yet. They were bugging Justin a little bit last night, but it's been pretty good. I've heard a lot of horror stories about what the insects are like up here, but so far it's been fine. But yeah, for the first time in my life, I took a bath in a river, and that was really cool. Feels good. Best meal of the day. You know what's surprising? I am so not sick of driving this car. No problem. I don't care that there's no cruise control. My foot's not sore, not stiff. I have thought about hitting a cruise button 4 times now, but
Feeling good.
this is super
That's awesome.
comfortable.
I cannot say the same. I'm just kidding. No, it's smooth. It's such
It
a,
is.
and it's quiet,
quiet.
too. Like we're
I'm just barely touching the gas and we're going. I mean, we've been averaging 20 miles per gallon. Most people that know these cars know that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It should be getting less, but it's tuned well, so.
and we're climbing hills and doing like off-roading too.
Yeah.
One of the stops we made along the way was at the Five Finger Rapid. During the gold rush, they would actually run paddle wheelers over this rapid, which had a 1 to 2 foot drop. And they would tie the paddle wheeler to shore with a cable. Just truly amazing that they were able to do this. Next, we stopped for lunch beside a beautiful little creek, spent some time there.
The places we stopped for lunch.
And I also figured I'd give Justin a little wake up with a bear banger.
What are you doing?
And then I found this little guy in the water.
You okay, buddy?
I was tempted to help this bird, but he didn't want my help. And he was surprisingly very agile in the water, so I left him alone.
But here's one thing I want to say about the Yukon. They know how to keep pit toilets clean. Alberta, pull up your socks, because I'm telling you, these are the cleanest pit toilets. I got no problem using them, right? They're super
I didn't go
clean.
into them, but yeah,
Oh.
I imagine.
Like the one by our campsite this morning, super clean. The one here, super clean. And what do they do in Alberta? They build a pit toilet. They'll throw toilet paper in it every couple months, and they don't sweep it, they don't clean it. I mean, these look brand new, like they're painting them every year. I don't know. But Alberta, take note. Please clean up your campground toilets.
Bring up the game.
Yeah.
We stopped to have a closer look at this bear. Little did we know we would see something like 14 bears on this trip.
Little tiny guy.
Oh man.
Oh, there he goes.
Next, we found a gravel pit that was unoccupied, and we decided to have a little fun.
Oh man.
We're about to give you guys some epic stuff. You have no idea. Slow-mo, drone. You name it, we're using it.
Great action for you.
Best day of work ever.
We lost our hubcap again. Wow. This is not what I expected when I thought driving to Alaska.
You need to hang with me more.
I know, clearly. You have such control. You have a crazy control over the vehicle. Well, that was a good little wake-up call.
On the next episode of Going North, we make it to Dawson City. We tour the sites, and I do the sour tour.